This is laying the foundation for something. I heard this on Brian Williams last night, and it was bone-chillingly scary. Look, this impeachment with Donald Trump, if you didn't know before, it is so clear that they are trying to use it just as a foothold to get themselves in the door to remove your ability to exercise your First Amendment. Because Donald Trump has defended himself. He released his official statement, right, saying that, hey, he obviously has the right to question the integrity of elections under the First Amendment, especially now as a private citizen who generally aren't impeachable. Details.
Normally.
But they were talking about this on Brian Williams, and then I want to segue into this sort of macro that you're seeing as a threat across all of media, and it makes my balls retract into my body cavity. It's that scary. Let's go.
There is a broader question of whether the First Amendment is indeed a defense for a government official facing accountability for his actions while in office. Irrelevant to that, though, is the broader question of what are limits on the First Amendment. And it's very clear that the First Amendment is not a defense for speech that incites violence. And so arguably that is what we have here.
Here's the thing. She says it's not a defense, of speech that incites violence. So these are the steps they're trying to take. Okay, Donald Trump used First Amendment under the guise of free speech. Free speech is just an illusion. By the way, free speech doesn't apply to inciting violence. Donald Trump incited violence. Also, here are the guidelines for all of social media speech that incites violence. That could include any speech that is unpopular or someone else who may be crazy takes as an inspiration to commit violence, as you saw against Scalise. Is Bernie Sanders responsible? What about Karl Marx for crying out loud?
Yeah.
And by the way, those people actually did call for violence, so there's a big difference here.
Right.
Not Bernie Sanders, but Karl Marx, right? But when Donald Trump says, make your voices heard peacefully, keep in mind what they are saying is Donald Trump ceases to maintain his First Amendment rights when he says you need to fight like hell for your country, meaning election irregularities. That is no longer free speech. And they want to apply that. They want to put that all under an umbrella to all of you. And here is where we bring in completely straight nuisance money, Brian Stelter and everyone else in the media. This is their threat of arguing.
And second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences.
So the first thing to remember, Brian, is that the First Amendment is a restraint on government from imposing on the rights of private citizens. So there is a broader question of whether the First Amendment is indeed a defense for a government official facing accountability for his actions while in office.
But while some cry cancel culture, let me suggest a different way to think about this. A harm reduction model.
Brian Stelter, he doesn't even have the self-awareness to understand that everyone sees this as self-serving. We need harm reduction. Well, what does that mean, Brian? What would you like to see? I would like to see shows that do better than me on a fraction of a budget be shut down. What shows would those be? All of them.
Pretty much.
Literally every show does better than mine, and so I think they should be labeled hate speech, more nuisance money, please.
Right.
They want to shut down. This is what we were talking about for a very long time. It's not just about legacy media. It's not that Brian Stelter really matters. Nobody watches his show.
Right.
It's that Turner, it's that CNN, ABC, Disney, NBC, Universal. They have the dollars to get their claws into YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and make sure that you don't have a voice. And now they're not even trying to hide it. And you have Jen Psaki, I can't get it correct, who also supports these kinds of policies, which is why we're going to do a deep dive is the term now.
I'm really confused. Do none of these people have any understanding of history at all? Have none of them realized that this is how it always goes? Oh, it's for the common good. Oh, we have to do this to make sure that violence doesn't come from all of these media voices. Have you not seen movies before where this is the beginning of the end for a country? Where all of a sudden people are rounded up and killed or put in prison because they have a certain opinion. Every single post-apocalyptic movie I've seen. Right?
Well, yeah, how could that happen?
That never could possibly happen, right? It's only happened,
I love how we always think we're beyond the realm of human nature.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.